Sapp. New Orleans is now on the clock.
Well, certainly an eventful 24 hours, but at least as far as entering the National Football League, we now have a resolution to the question. Warren Sapp picked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the number 12 overall slot. Now he just has a chance to prove what he can do on the football field and prove what he can do off the football field, and he'll be a young man, as we heard him and his agent Drew Rosenhaus say, that certainly will be up to that challenge. The New Orleans Saints have about 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. The Saints have been, well, it's been like a turnstile down there. It's been like about 11 p.m. on Bourbon Street, what the Saints have done in the offseason. They have signed a backup quarterback, Tim Rosenbaum, to let the Wade Wilson go. You see the linebacker move. They get Rufus Porter, fine player from the Seattle Seahawks. They lose a linebacker of the caliber of Darian Connor to the Carolina Panthers, along with the last of the Mohegans, Sam Mills, that great linebacking quartet. He went to Carolina as well. They pick up Eric Allen, just about as good a cover corner as there is, and they lose Vinnie Clark, and they change punters. Barnhart goes to Carolina, and Klaus Winsmeyer becomes the new punter from the 49ers on the New Orleans Saints. So, Joe, program sales will be up in New Orleans, so they really have to evaluate almost a whole new team here.
Well, I think so, Chris. I think obviously the defensive line is an area of concern, and even linebacker, because, see, Monty Kiffin has taken over as the defensive coordinator. His background is out of Minnesota, where you go 4 down instead of the way it's been in New Orleans for so long, a 3 down. But you look at their rankings, again, 27th in points, 26th in passing yards, total yards 25th, first downs a game 28th, and touchdown passes against 28 total, tied for 27th. Joel Smenge's gone. Sam Mills is gone. I would look for them to conceivably go for a Mark Fields here, who's a very complete linebacker, or maybe a Hugh Douglas, who was a linebacker who hasn't played in the 3-4, won't need to. Good rushman, opportunity for somebody to come in and play right away. I think they're going to go with 3 linebackers. So to me, a linebacker choice here, boom, would make a lot of sense for New Orleans.
And Turnbull would go down up front at one of the 4. Linebackers, not many in this draft. We haven't come close to one being picked thus far, Mel.
No, we won't. And I'll tell you, when you look at the New Orleans Saints, they got a great linebacker pick in the 3rd round last year, Winford Tubbs, who they really like. He can play inside, he can play outside. Damian Covington's undersized. He's under 6 feet tall. That could push him into the 2nd round. Styles' workouts weren't very good. That's moved him down. Mark Fields had an extraordinary year in terms of production, then was a workout warrior, running 4.55, 4.60 at about 242 pounds. That's moved him to the top of that class in terms of being a guy that can play either in the middle or, Joe, play outside linebacker.
Definitely, I mean, you know, and when you're looking at a team that is doing a new offense or defensive scheme, a new coordinator, you definitely want to get somebody who can come in and fit and play for it. I think Fields would be the guy.
Well, the New Orleans said the pick is coming up. Will it be Mark Fields forever in New Orleans, or, well, we shall see. The commissioner has the card.
It won't be Warren Sapp.
This just
I figured that out.
Yeah.
Or J.J. Stokes.
Kidneys. Let's go up to the podium.
With the 13th choice in the 1st round, the New Orleans Saints select linebacker from Washington State, Mark Fields.
Go, fellas.
The Buffalo Bills are next on the clock.
All right, guys, you got him.
When you look at Fields and talk about the frame, 240-plus pounds, and watch the quickness and the explosion of this kid. He was all over the field for Washington State. That's a guard. He just drilled at the line of scrimmage and moved in for the sack. There he is. Look at the form tackling, hit, lift, and drive. That's why I really believe he can play any position. And along with Winford Tubbs, who's very versatile, look at his speed here. Picked up the fumble. That was the key play that allowed them to beat Illinois. Then you look at him coming here, inside, between the center and guard hole, moves in for the sack. That's the kind of speed and the size combination that moved him to the top, Chris. And when you talk about a guy who can play middle or on the outside, can cover, play in space, get into the backfield, he can really do it all. And the workout, that individual workout, is what allowed him to move into the mid-1st round.
Well, I mean, some people might feel a little high, but they had the great linebackers with Swilling and Ricky Jackson on the outside and Vaughn Johnson and Mills on the inside. They're all gone. Is this the start of a new era of linebackers at the Saints? They need only 3 of them. Mark Fields may be one. We'll be back.
Italians have always been known for incredible cuisine, distinctive architecture, and, until recently, the very finest in exotic sports cars. Introducing the new NSX-T from Acura. Some things are worth the price.
Rule number 45, board checking. Rule number 25, to play the game, use a puck. The Blues and the Stars will shine Tuesday. The NHL rules on ESPN2.
We are back at the 60th annual NFL selection meeting, the NFL draft, and picking for the highest they have selected since 1987. The Buffalo Bills are picking in the 14th spot. Now they're used to picking in the number 27th spot because the 4 years before this they have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl, albeit that last game did not go the way they and the fans in Buffalo wanted. They did a pretty good job of drafting that low. They've gone defensive back pretty much all 4 of the 5 last years. The Buffalo Bills may be the last of an era. Yes, they lost Darryl Talley. Yes, they lost the Reichen and Metzelars. But guys like Jim Kelly and Kent Hull, of course, they pick up Jeff Coat with a move, and some of their other players like Kenny Davis and Steve Tisker at Tasker and Andre Reed and Bruce Smith, who's now 31, and Thurman Thomas was not yet hitting 30, but they have pretty much, in this day and age of free agency, kept the nucleus together. And what they're trying to do as we go up to Chris Fowler is make one last run. They figure they have 1 or maybe 2 at the max years left to make a run with this team. They've had big changes in the offensive line. Reuben Brown is sitting there. That might be a selection that will work for the Buffalo Bills. Let's go to Chris Fowler. What do you hear up north?
Well, Reuben Brown would be a consideration, Chris. This, many people up here consider the most important draft for the Buffalo Bills in a long time. It's the highest they have drafted since '88 when they took Thurman Thomas at 14. And incidentally, he was the last rookie to be a significant starter, so the Bills have had the luxury of not having to draft guys who come in and start right away. Joining us now, the president and the original owner of the team, Ralph Wilson. Do you see this weekend as a crossroads for this franchise? 13 guys gone from last year and the opportunity to make maybe 1 more 2 moves and get back to the Super Bowl?
Well, we certainly are going to make an effort. Fortunately, we haven't been drafting this low in prior years, but with the 14th pick, we know we can get a good player here.
I know Bruce Smith told me he was lobbying for a young pass rusher to groom. Jim Kelly's been screaming for a receiver, but the top players of those positions are gone. My cab driver over here wanted an offensive lineman. Does the cab driver win out at this point?
Well, you know, those cab drivers sometimes can be pretty correct, you know. Whatever the cab driver said, you know, the Bills might go for.
What is the importance of getting a quarterback of the future? Jim Kelly, I know his knee is rehabbing well, and he should be 100% for the season. But what is the importance, perhaps in round 2 or round 3, of getting a quarterback of the future?
Well, I don't know what the position, how they'll fall in the 2nd and 3rd round. Nobody knows. But sure, we would like to get somebody to come in and behind Jim. But we think, I personally think that Jim has another maybe 3 or 4 years left in his career.
It's a moot point now, but as an owner, would you have been concerned about taking Warren Sapp with this 14th pick, given the conflicting reports, some of which were denied by his agent and his former head coach?
Well, he's a great player, Warren Sapp, and he's going to make a great contribution. I think that these reports from the media and from the league, I think he probably will make a big impact on him, and he will certainly go the straight and narrow from now on.
All right, thank you for joining us. Now you want to get back down to the war room. You're involved in talking to the scouts. Boomer, maybe the cab driver will win out. Reuben Brown, whom the Bills see as perhaps moving to a guard, may be the guy.
All right, Mr. Wilson and Chris, thank you very much. One thing you must know about the folks in Buffalo, they all follow the Buffalo Bills. I think the cabbie has the meter running. I think Reuben Brown makes a lot of sense if you look at offensive line, and we have not had, except for Baselli, They're all there. This is the position that certainly fell to the Bills, and this is a position they got Fina at left tackle, they got Hull at the center, where they can use some help. And Reuben Brown, tackle or guard, where would you project him?
Really, either place. I think with Buffalo, you would think about maybe guard initially, but their master plan is to move Glenn Parker to guard and maybe John Fina inside either guard or center down the road. And with Reuben Brown, he played tackle at Pitt, did a great job. Then at the Senior Bowl, Chris, he played guard and really neutralized some of the better defensive linemen in college football coming into the NFL. He's 6'3", 305. He's got a great base and long arms. So if you're going to be shorter as an offensive tackle, you better have the long arms, and Reuben Brown has it.
Well, they got young guards. Ostrovsky came in. They had to use a lot of their depth that they really hadn't planned on use. Depth is fine until you have to use it, as I've heard a couple of coaches say. But with the Bills with 7.5 minutes left to go, it would make sense. Of course, I'm just taking a stab at it. We'll be back right after this.
Sail away. From across the seas, Beck's delivers the grand tradition and taste of the German art of brewing. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
You're beautiful. You're everything I ever wanted.
If you love your car, what you put on it should be more than just a wax. New Zymol Natural Liquid Auto Polish protects your finish with beeswax and shines with rare Brazilian carnauba. Safe, naturally derived ingredients, so pure, powerful, perfect.
Oh, so beautiful.
New Zymol Natural Liquid Auto Polish.
A brilliant idea never starts out brilliant. It starts out ridiculed. Because it's different and people haven't seen anything like it. Be unreasonable. Insist that it can be done. Show them how. This is the software that helps you show them.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran tastes so good, people forget it's good for them. So while you're eating, I'll read about the nutrition, and then you can give me your thoughts, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Wheat bran, vitamin D,
this tastes
fiber,
good.
iron.
Really good.
Okay, listen up here. Listen
I
up
really
here.
love this stuff. The raisins and the bran together?
Keep listening. Vitamin D.
Nobody's listening.
There are 2 reasons to eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. The taste.
I think I hit a raisin. Does it say anything about nutrition?
My folks are here. These Super 8 motel rooms are roomy.
At these prices, we'll never leave.
Super 8 Motels, 1-800-800-8000. So affordable, so comfortable.
And welcome back to New York, where the Buffalo Bills have 5.5 minutes to make their selection. The Bills have been very busy, and we said that they're trying to make one last run at getting back in the Super Bowl. Guys that they have acquired. Pass rushers. Jim Jeffco can still rush the passer on the outside. Ted Washington to play defensive tackle, former Niner and Denver Bronco. But the big one is Bryce Pop. For the Bills' entertaining thoughts under new defensive coordinator Wade Phillips of going with a 4-3. It would be Bennett to the weak side linebacker, Pop to the strong side linebacker. And you see some of the losses we mentioned, Reich and Metzelaars, and of course Darryl Talley. You just can't replace him in the locker room. But who do you replace on the offensive line? Let's go to the podium and grab the commissioner. Shouldn't be hard to pronounce.
With the 14th pick in the first round, the Buffalo Bills select guard from the University of Pittsburgh, Reuben Brown. Indianapolis Colts are next on the clock.
Now that